Yo, yo.
We didn't talk about what to start with. Shit.
How was that $70 salad?
No, don't say that. Now I'm gonna have to bleep that. It wasn't $70 worth, but that's fine. It was 55 before gratuity.
Before Diet
So
Coke and gratuities.
yeah, no. Well, first off, please, they don't have the diet Oreo Coke here at the
That's
hotel. So
fucked up.
it was a diet Dr Pepper.
My bad, my bad. The doctor was
But
in.
yeah, but I
I
figure it
love
was
Dr.
probably
Pepper.
like me too.
Personally?
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the official drinks of the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow. That's some obscure knowledge.
Yeah, who would know that? The like Dr. Pepper like headquarters, Dr. Pepper and Keurig is like 5 blocks from here. Not even.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah.
So the hospital that he works at is right there? That's crazy.
Yeah, he's operating right now. I can actually see it from my hotel room.
It's a little voyeuristic, but yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, he's the good doctor. Um, no,
I said voyeuristic, not autistic, alright? Come on.
Woof, this is a tough intro. Oh my god.
Isn't that the good doctor? Isn't that the thing?
Yes, this is
He's a pretty bad representation of autistic people, though. Just throwing that
Yeah.
out there. From what I've
we
seen.
don't endorse that. Watchers, just know we don't endorse the good doctor.
Yeah. Pretty tough. Pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
I am a doctor. I am a doctor.
have you been playing any video games? Have you been playing video games?
I have been. I've just been playing Supervive and League lately, but they reset Magic the Gathering Arena, which is the online Magic the Gathering thing. So I'm back at Plat 4, and I started to climb, but I sort of didn't feel like playing much anymore. So I don't know.
So
Still playing the Pokemon trading card game, which I like.
good. Is it Magic the Gathering Arena? Like, what's the punctuation situation in the name of that game?
Oh,
Because it's
I don't
Magic
even
the
know.
Gathering, right?
I believe it
Yeah.
is Magic the Gathering. Yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
There's actually no punctuation, at least in the
Really? I totally
in the
thought
app on my
Magic the
computer,
Gathering was. Hang on. Wait a sec. Wait.
I,
Yeah, it's
I
got a
think in the
colon,
actual
like the-
card game.
Yeah. Colloquially known as Magic or MTG. What are the little dots on the cards? Like on the front of the back of the card?
Those 5.
Yeah.
It's the color system. So those are like the 5 colors of mana. So like you have
Oh,
green
that makes
is
sense.
forests, blue are islands, white is plains, black is swamp, and then red is mountain. And they all sort of play differently. They have different like strengths and weaknesses depending upon which color you're playing with.
Cool.
But most people
I
just
see.
play the good ones.
Holy shit. The scroll
Huh.
bar size on the Wikipedia page for Magic the Gathering is like...
Oh, it's gotta be minuscule. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
tiny.
yeah.
It's so tiny. And there's sub-pages. There's a whole sub-page
Yeah.
that's called Banned and Restricted Cards, Deck Types, and
Yeah.
Formats.
Because
It's
there's a
crazy.
couple of formats. There's different band cards in the different formats. I just usually play standard, which is like the most recent rotation of like standard legal cards. So I don't know. I think that there's a couple of really annoying decks out there right now that are hugely unbalanced. I mean, I guess not technically unbalanced, but like super annoying to play against. Just super duper annoying. And if you're not playing one of like the 6 like best decks right now, it's significantly less fun. I don't know, even those don't seem fun to play though. They're just good, and it's annoying to me. Are you just engrossed by the Magic Wikipedia page right now?
There's so many links. This could just go for hours. Like I'm scrolling
Oh,
through. Yeah. Holy shit. The Wizards Play Network is the official sanctioning body for competitive play in Magic the Gathering. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. All
Someone
right.
I know
Woof.
actually went to one of the like regional qualifiers I think last weekend, maybe 2 weekends ago.
Good for them.
They are playing one of the 6 good decks, so I don't know. I didn't hear how they did, but considering I didn't hear it, they probably did not place very high.
Like, it's not like there's like actually, no, we can't get into this. This is We Want to Watch. My name is Lane.
My name's Ricky.
This is a podcast where we do not talk about nerd shit. We only talk about cool things like movies and food.
Wow.
And this week we watched Elaine's Frame. We watched Om Shanti Om from 2007, directed by Farah Khan. I had not seen this movie before.
Neither did I, for the record. Which I feel like is implied.
I'm shocked, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in case, maybe this is like a clean entry point. Maybe we're going to get a bunch of new watchers because of this podcast, or because of this episode.
Yeah.
Like, people are like looking up this movie and they're like, what podcast?
We want to watch Om Shanti Om? Yeah, let's watch it.
Yeah, let's get in here. Yeah, who's this Ricky and Lane people? Oh, they're talking about Magic the Gathering for 6
minutes? Oh god,
exit. Yeah, get this shit out of my Spotify. Yeah, get these guys off the screen. No, so I had picked this movie because I had seen just a couple other like Bollywood movies or Indian movies in general. Mm-hmm. And so I know of the movie star, like the main guy, Shah Rukh Khan, in this movie. I've seen another movie with him in it. And this is kind of like his most popular movie, one of the most popular, like, Bollywood specifically movies, Indian movies generally. So yeah, it's kind of got a bit of a reputation even. Not like in a bad way, but just, it's a very well-known one. And I figured it would be a cool kind of like, entry point deviation from some of the last few movies that we've seen, which have been, a little on the maybe darker or more serious side.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated it. This one was kind of like a breath of fresh air, because even though it does have, I guess, like murder and intrigue in it, it's definitely like much more levity, which was highly appreciated, and like a genuinely fun watch overall. Like the whole movie itself is really cool, mm-hmm. But
totally.
But yeah, not dealing with like difficult themes is much appreciated. So
yeah. Our last like 3 or 4 episodes have been like child abuse, the Holocaust, or World War II, at least Nazis, like Fitzcarraldo, colonialism. So yeah, this one definitely a lot more fun of a watch. Although I'm sure you picked up on this. This movie is like one big homage to like other movies, you know, and like I don't know these movies. Like I said, I've only seen a couple, movies kind of from the genre or from India, and so I was like, oh, like maybe we should have watched this after like watching 10 or 15 other like classic Bollywood movies, so we'd understand the references.
Yeah, one of the big flags where I was like, oh, okay, so like some of these things are like homages. Was they did the Frankly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, and
Well, he also says, I'm the king of the world, he says that a couple times. So
there's like there's a couple of scenes from this where like I think I've either seen them as like reaction gifs online, or I've seen, or it's like an homage to a movie, and I've seen the reaction gif from those movies online. But either way, like funny to like see and be like there it is, it's on the screen right now. Yeah,
the Leo Dio meme. Yeah, so and the first thing that tipped me off was, I mean, first of all, anytime you have a movie about movies, you're gonna homage other movies, and so like, there's a movie that we'll watch one day for this podcast called The Player. That's a movie that kind of it's not like this one at all. It's not like a musical or anything, but it's it just takes place in the movie industry. I won't get into it, but I watched that movie at the end, or like after a year and a half of COVID, like of quarantine, and so I had just like spent the last year and a half basically like mainlining movies, just like classic movies, to try to jack my numbers up basically. And
gotta pump those numbers up, kid.
Watching literally and so that movie has like tons and tons of homage to like, you know, Orson Welles stuff and like all kinds of like really like lots of classic stuff. And so watching it was so rewarding for that reason. But this movie, I'm sure that we are not getting even a fraction of what we could get out of it if we were more familiar with like the cultural references being made. But it's still, you know, still really cool.
Yeah, cool. And like a fun watch, like genuinely. Like it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I hate to make the like immediate connection here. Like guy who has only seen Boss Baby, this reminds me a lot of Boss Baby. But
oh no.
It's similar to Perfect Blue in the way that it's like a movie within a movie, and like I mean our main character is not the one who has to question like, oh, like what's going on here, reality. Yeah. But it's funny how like we get to see that they're playing with the antagonist, specifically in the back half of the film, and like they're like, oh, like we're gonna make him think he's like Zeta Ghost, and then they're just like, it's like, oh wait, this like straight up does happen. Like I don't know, it was fun to me. It was really cool. I don't know, I like that a lot, because it's I don't know if that's a trope in movies, because I don't think I haven't really seen it like before, where they're like they sort of like play up like, oh, like we're going to deceive this character in a certain way and then have it actually come through. But it's really fun to watch, and I don't know, it's just really cool. I like this one a lot. I like this movie a lot more than I thought I would. Just like going into it, it seemed a lot like cornier or cheesier or like campier, I guess, than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But as the movie went on, that just grew on me so much. I was like, man, this shit actually fucking rocks. This is awesome, bro. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's a common perception of like this type of movie. So like not all, of course, like Indian movies are like this, but a lot of like the big blockbuster, you know, especially Bollywood movies specifically, are like, you know, this kind of like over the top blend of action, comedy, songs, romance, like, you know, things are like kind of on that like what we think of as like a cheesier kind of like level.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's like legit, like of course there's like cheesy stuff in this, but yeah, it's just like a different wavelength, and it's kind of cool how there's an entire ecosystem, you know, of like outside of what we think of as like movies, you know. I know that sounds like super rudimentary, but of just like, oh yeah, like there's a whole like culture of movies out there that are like totally different in tone, and the way that people perceive them is so different than what we might even think of with them too.
Yeah. And it's super candid and heartfelt too. Like it might be campy.
There's no like irony.
Yeah. They're not playing it for irony, which like you would see, I guess, in like a campier,
like an American movie.
Right. Like I hate to say like the Marvel movies, but like if they
it's a natural comparison.
Yeah, like if they do anything campy, they like have to play it for laughs. Like, oh well, that just happened, and it's like this has none of that, which is great. I love it. They're just like having a good time.
Yeah. Well, and these movies too, they're paced very differently.
Yeah.
Like they're paced so like not just like, and I don't mean slow pacing, but just like very deliberate time is spent kind of with each genre or like with each like kind of beat of the movie, and not in a way that ever, you know, it almost feels like a play.
Yeah,
like where there's
in a lot of ways,
really like truly like scenes ending and like acts ending and things like that. So yeah, it's cool. It's just like a totally different experience than anything we've watched thus far for this podcast, for sure.
Yeah, and the music and dance numbers really add to that like play-like experience, right? Because it's always like, and the way they like sprinkle exposition and stuff through the music and through the like dancing and stuff. It's like, oh, okay, this is like, I mean, it's really cool, but like when you're first watching it, it is definitely like harder to like, I guess, sort of get behind, because it's like, it is so different. At least for me, like I was like, I hadn't really seen movies like this before, and I was like, except I guess like Triple R, but like even that, like I feel like didn't lean into it.
I thought
much.
That would come up. Yeah. Well, and so that's slightly different. Like it's obviously that movie, that's an Indian movie, but it's it's not a Bollywood movie.
Right.
It's like, because it's not in Hindi. Like,
Mhm.
it's a whole different kind of like, like I said, ecosystem. So obviously some of it's still like the tone and like the mix of I think I called it last week. I called this movie a masala film.
Mhm.
So that's like the specific genre of like this blend of all of these different like action, comedy, like that synthesis of all of those genres. And so you see that, I think, in RRR as well, and probably some other movies too. But yeah, that movie is a little bit more sincere, or not sincere, but like serious, I guess.
Yeah.
Just because of the subject matter in that movie.
It's also a lot more like
which
action
that's a problematic.
based, right? Like
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
So there's like just not nearly as many musical numbers, and like the action scenes are definitely like what they're sort of like playing up. Versus this, they're playing up a lot of the like the music and the like choreography and whatnot. And they really do punch it up a lot. It's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, it's crazy how colorful and vibrant this movie is.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, like it's more than I think anything else we've watched, even like a Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Which came out around the same time.
I wish more movies looked like this, honestly.
Yeah.
And like Wes Anderson definitely has like an approach to filmmaking where like he includes a lot more colors than I guess a lot of directors do, but like a lot of his colors,
right, he's very intentional.
Yeah, but a lot of times they're really like super pastel-y, right?
They're muted.
And it all fits within like this is like the block of colors that we're working with, and like it's almost like he like hands out like a color booklet to like whoever is like the prop designers and whatnot, and he's like, hey, like this is what we're following.
Oh, for sure.
Versus this movie,
100%.
They're just like, yeah, like make it look good. And they just do, and it's like, all right, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And it is sort of cool how they like between the like the past and the present, there's like a distinct change in like filmmaking.
Oh yeah, like
style.
the time period, like the clothes.
Yeah, well, I mean, not
that
just
too.
the time period, but like the way that they're filming it and like the colors that they're using, like it all sort of like.
Yeah,
like
true.
There's like a very distinct change where it's like, oh, okay, like it really helps you just like follow like, oh, okay, like this is now the future, right?
Yeah.
Which is that's cool.
Well, when they cut over to the like present day, like 30 years later, it is so funny how immediately it's like there's a Nokia phone, there's the Bluetooth headset, there's like all of these like 90s and early aughts aesthetics. It's
when
really
he was
funny.
like on the Bluetooth the whole time, he's like, no,
Yeah, he's like, hang
you'll
on.
talk
like,
and we'll talk. Like it's fine, just keep talking.
Yeah, it's fine. We're all talking. Yeah.
But like, I mean, especially this came out in like the early 2000s, or I guess late 2000s.
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, Bluetooth was like pretty new back then, and like, they sort of nailed that like, I don't want to say douchebag, but like kind of like like that
Totally.
like like dude just like on this Bluetooth like I'm too good. Yeah.
Which like. It's interesting because Shah Rukh Khan, the main actor, he's like a superstar.
Yeah.
Like he's like, not super recognized probably by most people in America unless you're like part of the Asian diaspora. But like, I would say, he's like just fucking enormous. Like his total box office is probably like trillions or something of dollars, like just crazy.
Like a
not
small
literally.
country.
I'm being hyperbolic, but yeah. And so he kind of, he has a decent range, but I think the things he's best known for are either playing like kind of heartthrobs or like this type of kind of like on the edge of douchey action star or like that kind of like I think that's not his public image necessarily, but some of what he is known for playing, like some of the roles that he's done.
Okay, so they were sort of like
still
playing
makes
into
movies.
that then.
Yeah, I think so. Like this seems to have been in kind of the midpoint of his career. Like I said, he's still putting out movies with his abs.
Yeah.
Present, I think he's probably almost 60 at this point, but yeah, so I think he's definitely well established at that point. But yeah, so leaning into that bit of his persona, and of course he's playing two separate characters, which is pretty cool to watch. Anytime a the same actor plays two different characters in a movie. It's fun to watch. So.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
specifically talking about Om Kapoor was the second one, right? Was the second character? Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I forget his first character's last name. I know it was Om, but I forget his last name.
Was it Prakash?
Maybe.
Prakash, I think was his. Yeah.
But
anyway.
But yeah, when they're doing like the award ceremony for him, and everyone's like, oh yeah, like okay, and they like had him twice as like two different like just like generic male heartthrobs. I thought they were just gonna keep doing that. Like I thought they were just gonna like do like the same thing like multiple times, like cut to different actors and just keep going back. And they love running bits in this movie. That's the other thing. They have like a lot of really good bits. They do have some good bits. Yeah.
So when he said the line he says where he's like, what's the name? Raul, you must have heard my name. Or like that's what he says in the little, and he says it twice. I've never seen, I don't think, a movie where he says that, but the other movie I've seen with him in also makes that joke. And I looked into it because I was like, why do I recognize this like audio clip of him saying like, you must have heard my name. And I guess it's like a running joke because he so often plays characters named Raul that like in like now it's like because he's in like literally over 100 movies, this guy. So I guess it's like a self-referential kind of bit in other movies that he's done.
That's so awesome.
To be like, oh yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, there's like what the fish.
Yeah.
The
what
bits.
the fish. Fish constantly throughout this movie. Yeah. It does holy fish, what the fish. Fish. Like just like off the cuff always.
Yeah.
It is really cool to hear
the hair as well.
Oh yeah, don't touch my hair.
We're both doing our tucking our hair. Yeah.
But it's cool that him as an actor, that he's so cool with like I guess not taking himself seriously in like certain regards, where like he's fine with like playing into the tropes and like he's able to like acknowledge like I guess I do get called Raul a lot. Like that's like these are the characters that I play, like sure. Which I feel like maybe isn't missing in like a lot of American films, but like there are like a lot of actors with like sticks up the ass about it essentially, and they're very full of themselves.
And it's like it's also that if you were going to make a joke, it's self-deprecating and kind of biting. It's like Ryan Reynolds, like I know that he's kind of an easy target for this sort of discussion, but like his whole thing is how self-aware of like his image he is. Right. And so so it loses a lot of the impact because it's like he's claimed it so much or like made it his brand that it loses all impact. Whereas like if I'm trying to think of like a good, like Jason Statham I think has some of that humor. He's not an American actor, but with like some of the roles he plays and the way he plays them, I feel like he has like a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but it's not it's he's in on the joke but not in a like bummer way.
It is tough to point to someone who I think is like a good representation of it. Maybe Nick Cage. Like I don't know how much he brings it into his roles, but like he definitely is sort of like typecasted in a certain way. I mean, Longlegs being a pretty distinct exception, but like
No, I don't think that's an exception at all. I think that is right down the middle of what you would expect from him in a lot of ways. That's not to say the performance isn't crazy, but it's definitely a Nicolas Cage.
It is definitely a Nick Cage performance. Yeah. I'm
trying to think of another actor who. Robert Downey Jr. is another one who he's similar. He's like Ryan Reynolds, but like just add 15 years in a way.
And also, I don't know
the humor.
I think Ryan Reynolds is just a little like cringe with it, man. Like,
he is for sure. Robert Downey Jr. is too. I'm trying to think because like DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, they have images, but their roles are diverse enough. They're not playing the same roles in a lot of things. So, they don't have enough of a, you know, their brand is more about them than it is about their roles in a way.
Right.
So it's not so easy to, you know, parody a Leo. Like how would you, you know, what's like a typical Leo Dio role that you would parody? You know what, Patrick Bateman. Oh my God, Christian Bale is who I meant to say. Did you see the news about who they cast for American Psycho, the remake? No. Austin Butler.
Isn't that Elvis? Yeah. Interesting. Is he gonna?
Yeah.
So like, I heard that he has the vocal tick still of like Elvis from like doing the Elvis role. Is he gonna? Is he gonna keep it?
Overblown.
You think it's overblown?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him in 2 other movies since that Elvis movie, and he's clearly able to talk in other voices.
When he was doing like promo stuff for Dune 2, a lot of people were like,
sure.
Any time that like there was like a slight twang, people were like, "It's him! He's doing the Elvis voice! Like, get him!"
Yeah. But I think he'll be an interesting pick.
Yeah.
It's also the director is an interesting director, so it's not going to be the straight remake that I think people are like anticipating. So, but anyway,
I don't know what to expect from it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure we should cover it for this podcast.
Yeah.
I think when it comes out in 2028 or whenever. But no, but Christian Bale, he's a decent. You can kind of parody a Christian Bale performance because it's like it involves this extreme transformation. There's like anguish usually to the character. Like there's some things to like he picks not similar roles, but like they often, you know, have some similar characteristics.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. So you hadn't seen other than RRR. This was kind of the first movie you had seen like this.
Yeah, for sure. I guess sort of Indian films or Bollywood in general, I haven't really had a lot of exposure to. I mean, Triple R, I feel like I've seen 1 or 2 others. I mean, I've definitely seen clips from like Bollywood films, especially like the most like over the top ones. And like a couple of those have been from Triple R, but I don't think I've ever really sat down and watched an Indian film or like a Bollywood film outside of these 2. So it's like I mean, a cool experience, and like definitely makes me a little more open to watching more, right? So.
Yeah. So you mentioned this, and something that you don't really see, something that sets these movies apart too from American movies, besides the sincerity, I guess kind of tied to the sincerity, is the music.
Yeah.
And when I mean, I didn't know any of the music from this movie beforehand, like the soundtrack. I'd never listened to it or anything like that. And so I was like, oh, I hope there's some bangers in here.
Oh,
and then
there's bangers.
I was like, oh, there's bangers. Yeah. So I got really excited last night or the other night watching it, being like, oh yeah, these are gonna be incorporated into the lore.
There's bangers.
Yeah.
I like the way that they play on Om Shanti Om as the film goes on, like the different like styles behind it.
Meanings.
And the different meanings.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think the first time we hear Om Shanti Om in the film is when Om is being introduced to Shanti, right?
Yeah, because he's like, Om Shanti Om. Like,
but he's like only saying it in his head, and he's just standing there like a mute. Yeah. Really funny, and it's such a cute scene. It's like, I don't know, it's really fun. It's cool. But like seeing that and then hearing the Om Shanti Om later, and like all its different renditions, like every time I'm like, hell yeah, Om Shanti Om, yeah, like let's fucking go. It's like,
it's good, yeah. I knew you'd like it. I knew coming in that you'd be down.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to just be like a lot of Zumba in this.
A lot of Zumba.
There's definitely like seeing a lot of Zumba, a lot of familiar dance moves, which, you know, it's something we've talked about off mic before, like the kind of cringe, like we're gonna do some fake Indian like style dancing, in this class just because the song is vaguely Indian sounding, I guess, but you can see the influences, even though they're done much better. in this movie
Right.
than in a class at the YMCA.
Especially the earlier parts, right? When
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously like hugely choreographed still, but like it's maybe not as like expensive, or it's not as like there's not like
It's not like set
right,
pieces.
right.
Yeah,
It's not
in
as
the
like
same way.
intricate or
Yeah.
like and it's there's not a ton of like interaction between dancers, right? It's just like everyone's sort of
Mhm.
following the same dance moves, which is a like sort of
Yeah.
reminiscent of Zumba, like right off the top, and B
Yeah.
like they are doing some Zumba moves, like we're I don't know, we were in there, and
Yeah. We've been in the
yeah,
trenches.
yeah. Watching it like just made me think, like, damn, like I wonder what take this was, right? Like I wonder how many times they had to do it to like get to this point.
Oh, dozens, right? Like, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
but like, and it's
Yeah.
also like making sure that like the actors or actresses like all look like happy while they're moving, right? Like because like they're
Yeah.
generally all facing the camera. You know, you kind of have to be smiling, and, like while you're doing these like
Yeah.
super expressive movements. So it's super cool. It's fun.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the kind of change in the choreography and like the yeah, just like how the dance numbers look from the beginning and end, or like
Yeah,
first half and back half of the movie. Because yeah, in the front half, it's a lot more like these are movie sets, and
right.
like we're getting swept up with this movie star, which we'll talk about Shanti here in a bit. But so yeah, like it is all of these like really colorful, like kind of bombastic musical numbers, and then you know, you do the like music video of Darda Disco, which
Yeah.
like great fucking
Yeah,
song,
hell
great
yeah.
song. I listened to that one after the movie too. I was like, damn, this is going on our list. Um, but you get the like music video, and then it's like the what I I mean, I don't know this for sure. Like I kind of figure the one song where they start singing Om Shanti Om, I believe it's Diwangi Diwangi is the name of the song. It's all the cameos of these like, you know, like big Bollywood movie stars. You know, they all come out and they dance one by
Yeah.
one. Like that's why they all get this like crazy reception. It's not just because they're like important characters in the movie, but because they're all like probably super well known to the audience of like, oh, it's that person and they're doing their dance that they're known for, like that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. That makes
So-
sense. Yeah.
So, yeah, but it is a lot more intimate. It's not like a huge crazy set with like crazy effects or anything. It's just people kind of having a great party for like 10 minutes, which is great.
Yeah.
Like all movies should have that.
Yeah.
But you it's kind of funny cuz like I can't stop comparing it now to like American Stars. Can you imagine like setting aside even just the musical number aspect, but just any movie that would be like, we love movies so much that we're going to pay homage to all of these past movies and bring all of these huge movie stars in to like collaborate in a big number, and like, you know, like it's unfathomable.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't seem real.
So that's the thing.
Like it couldn't
It's like
happen.
in American movies, again, like it'd have to be so genuine, right? Like the
Yeah.
I don't know, like I mean the whole like production, everything behind it, and then like the people performing would also have to like genuinely want to be interested in it, and especially like in
Mhm.
large part because anyone with like the big name comes with a big name tag or a big price tag, right? Big name tag, big price
Mhm.
tag.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna pop some tags.
only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a
God, can you imagine this great soundtrack to this movie, and I still end with Macklemore?
You should. That's good. That's good stuff.
maybe I will. Maybe I will. Anyway,
But yeah, like
no, you're
yeah,
not wrong.
imagine trying to
Yeah.
contract like anyone who we were talking about earlier, right? Like RDJ or Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
to like do a movie and be like, hey, but like you're only gonna be in it for a little bit, and like this is more like an homage because like you're in so many films, like yada yada. Like, could you just sort of do
And
this for us?
also the point of it is to look like you're having a good
Yeah.
time, so you can't just stand there and like pretend like you're too cool to be
Right,
here.
right,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah,
want
pretend
you to
like you like each
genuinely
other.
have a good time. And
Yeah.
I mean maybe it's just like a cultural difference, but I don't feel like a lot of like American stars really hang out outside of like work together. Like I don't feel like there's
I think it depends.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't really follow their lives. I'm sure there are many more people like far more qualified to
Yeah,
speak on this.
but I mean, sure. Yeah, I guess it's like it depends on the star, right? And I don't know that that like the cameo like movie stars in this movie necessarily hang out outside of work, but it is funny to try to think of like what's a group of stars that you could that like get along well enough,
right,
and are big enough to
yeah, because like
but we also
I was just gonna say like
Go ahead.
like
No, go
even
ahead.
if they don't. Like they make you think they do, right? Like watching it, it's like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah,
I
true.
could see like all these people like having
Yeah.
a good time outside of work.
They sell it.
Versus I don't know how
Well-
much American movie stars could like pull that off, right?
Well, like yeah, like right, and we don't have movie stars in the same way. This is kind of a tired conversation, I guess, but like we don't have movie stars in the same way anymore. You know, of like who's the biggest movie star under 40 right now? Zendaya,
I guess, yeah.
you know, or I think all the Avengers are older than 40, and they're not really movie stars. It's not like Paul Rudd has like huge box office draw.
No,
you know?
they're just comic book figures, right? Or action figures.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, it's yeah, it wouldn't have the same effect because there's not
The
like
Marvel
a like who
Cinematic
would be
Universe
okay.
really did ruin movies, actually.
I agree. Well, like even that movie, which you know, Avengers, the first Avengers movie, it's like it's not just like a celebration of like. It doesn't really feel like a celebration of like look at all these cool stars coming together and having a good time. It's not. It's not like it's not really about that, you know. So
well, it's about their characters again. Like it's just the like, oh, look at these comic book characters all fighting together. It's there's no like name pull, or like I guess the name pull is not from like the actors. It's from the character they're playing, which is like okay.
I feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Do you know that movie?
I've heard of it. I don't really know about it.
Yeah. It's a Tarantino movie with Brad Pitt and DiCaprio and some other people, but I feel like that is one of the last big like movie star meetups, team ups that could happen. Like what would get people really excited anymore? You know?
Yeah.
Like American, you know, like it's like, oh, this person's working with this
no
person.
way!
Like I don't, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't. Yeah, that. Like if Taylor Swift and Beyonce, which I do not stand anymore. Beyonce, I'm sorry, your fuck ass husband is. You need to leave that man. But you didn't hear about this? Yeah, Jay-Z's being sued for child sexual abuse trigger warning for the watchers at home. Yeah, for like raping a 13-year-old like 20 years ago or something.
Yikes.
So yeah, where there's smoke. So, and she's, you know, doing her little stand by your man thing.
Yeah.
So, it sucks.
She should have dumped him long
but anyway.
ago. No.
Yeah, she's had time. No, you're not wrong. Yeah. The thing is, the Beehive hates him. Like, her fans all hate him. Like, leave him.
Yeah.
No one's gonna judge you. Anyway, but yeah, so there isn't that same kind of excitement about specific stars. Not movie stars, at least.
Sucks.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Cry about it.
Good plan.
In that musical number as well, the Diwangi one, some of the dancing that they do looks like the caramel dancing. I'm doing the hands thing next to my head. So when they kept doing it, I was like, oh, cute. Like every time.
Is that a reference to the Midsummer edit that they have the caramel dance?
I forgot about that. Oh wow! I'll put that in the the podcast.
That's good.
notes.
Yeah, that's what the viewers need to watch. Yeah.
I bet I did in
I
the
think you did,
Midsommar
yeah.
episode. I bet I put it.
I hope you did.
But yeah. But yeah, it's it's really cool. All of the fun choreography that's so, like you said earlier, expressive and kind of contributes to the exposition. It's cool.
Yeah.
Do you like musicals, like in general?
Not really. Not my thing.
No.
No. I can't really think of many that I've seen, but like,
Yeah.
I mean the big ones like Hamlet. I've like watched parts of.
Hamlet.
Maybe not Hamlet. What's the one that Oh, Hamilton. That's what I'm thinking of. Hamilton. Yeah. Not Hamlet by Shakespeare. Hamilton by whatever that Lin-Manuel Miranda, LMM. Yeah, never got its claws into me.
Oh my god. I'm gonna kill you for saying that. That's terrible. That's the worst thing you've ever said. And last week you couldn't even remember your mom's favorite movie.
Wow. I got close. I had Sleeping, right? That's like one of them. That's also
you're like sleep is in the title.
That's also like the Wi-Fi password at their house. So
and you still got it wrong.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to think what's the other one? Les Mis.
Les Mis.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But
the movie, or have you seen the
movie?
Like seen it performed?
I haven't seen the play. The movie was pretty good. I think the songs detracted from it at a couple of times.
You're fucking nuts for thinking that's a good movie, but
I liked a lot of it, except like sometimes the music was just too much. I just didn't want to be watching the music.
I was like, is this the first musical movie we've done for this podcast? And I filtered our We Want to Watch list to just show musical movies. Yeah, the only other one is Beyond the Sea.
Yeah. Oh.
Oops.
I should have mentioned that earlier.
Much better, this movie.
Oh, much better. But it's funny how, like...
how bad that movie is?
Well, yeah. Yes, that. But also, it's almost like a strike back. That movie's almost a strike back against critics. Like, saying, like, oh, he can't play the role, yada, yada. And they like, have a scene in it directly where he says, like, oh, I'm gonna do it anyway. So
it opens that way.
I know.
The movie starts. We should watch that movie again.
No, we shouldn't. What's up, bro? Dude, the Diet Dr. Pepper got you fucking acting up.
You know what it is? Huh. It's being in Dallas. Something about being in Dallas makes me just be like, I want to watch a shitty movie. I just want to watch something so bad.
Really horrible.
I wonder if it's still free with ads on YouTube. Oh my god, it
Probably,
is.
Yeah.
Shout out Beyond the Sea, which is still free with ads on YouTube.
No, not a shout out. Anti-shout out to that movie. Bad movie. Shout out to Om Shanti Om, which is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Free with ads.
Yeah, true.
Actually, I don't know. I have ads on my Netflix because I don't buy the premium version. But back to the comparison. We were talking about earlier how main actor in Om Shanti Om is like fine with like playing into like the bits about like the character bits that he runs, yada yada. And so it's just again, like it's like the humble I don't even want to say like the humble actor who has done like a billion films, who has like the huge gross, but like the fact that he's willing to like take cracks at himself versus the shitty fucking British guy being like, actually, I'm fucking 46 years old and I'm gonna do this anyway. I can totally look 20. And it's like, buddy.
British?
Cut it.
Are you talking about Kevin Spacey?
Is he not British? Is he American? What is he?
He's American.
Okay, I don't know. I thought he was British.
That's crazy.
I just thought he was British.
That's crazy.
I wanted to separate myself and my identity from him so greatly that I pushed him across the pond.
You created a new nationality.
I was like, get this guy out of here. Get him off the screen. Get him out of my country. Get him out of here.
Yeah, deport Kevin Spacey. We should start a campaign. What's that petition website?
Change.org.
Yes, yeah. Let's start a change.org petition to deport Kevin Spacey.
Let's start a GoFundMe. Deport Kevin Spacey. Get him out of here.
Trump, please, Mr. President.
Yeah.
That's your first act in office.
We know you love deporting, right? We know that's your big thing. Grant us this one thing, right?
We all agree. This one guy.
This is like the one act of justice you can carry
strong.
out. Yeah.
Okay, so since you brought up the main actor again, I want to talk about something else that I think this movie does really well that is striking and different than other movies, which is let its hot actors be hot.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah.
And like and really enjoy looking and kind of like reveling in how hot they are.
Yeah.
You know, both the Shanti Priya and are like both just like, not only are they so beautiful, like just gorgeous people, but also the camera. Like I noticed it especially with Shanti mostly in the first half when she's Shanti Priya and not Sandy or whatever the reincarnated version's name is.
Yeah,
But
it is Sandy,
every time they like show her in a new scene and she's like revealed, it's like, you know, like a chorus of angels.
Yeah.
Just like there's like beautiful lighting and like her face she'll turn and there's like a nice like harp or something in the background. Like it's just like she's just framed, you
and
know, like
be
an
like
angelic presence.
A slow zoom, maybe, you know, just like something to like,
yeah, from like across the way.
Yeah, like something to draw the eye. Yeah, every time.
Yeah. And you know, it's and they do kind of not the same for him in the first half of the movie. But I mean, he's still handsome, but he's kind of playing a dorkier character. But in the back half of the movie, you know, it's very much like abs, face, hair, like brows.
Don't forget the pecs, okay? Because like there's a lot of like open
Pecs,
shirt
too.
tops, you know, like like the more
that's
open.
True. Yeah.
And there's a few like up shirt shots for him where it's just like he'll be like doing something actiony and it's just like his shirt goes up like higher than it like needs to, or like really would in that situation. It's just like, oh, we're just getting abs here. Okay, all right, I see what you're playing at.
Which, you know, it's interesting because they don't kiss.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you feel kind of so like teased, and like by the end of it, it's not really about him getting with the reincarnated version or anything. It's about him kind of, you know, avenging her spirit. But yeah, so it's kind of crazy that they're able to build this, like, it's not even a romance necessarily as much as it's because like you know, his admiration for her is very much like a kind of like a goofy, you know, crush on a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that deep basically, but you know, so it's cool that they're able to kind of build this like big sweeping kind of romantic feeling, even though the romance itself is not really fleshed out all that much.
There's some tension between them, especially like in the dance scenes when they like pull into each other and stuff. Yeah.
Totally. They have sexual chemistry for sure. It's just that they never like, you know, it's never like
they never expand on
love
it
for each other. Or like, yeah. And of course she is, you know, married to this, we find out in this mid-act or mid-movie twist, which like, that's another thing about pacing with this is that the kind of like central thing, like the inciting incident of the movie, the rising action, doesn't really happen until like a full hour and change into this movie. Like it's like the fire, which like that is the description of this movie is like this guy gets reincarnated 30 years after dying in a fire, and tries to like enact revenge. Right. It's like that doesn't happen for like literally the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, and there's a couple of fake outs too, where it's like she gets trapped in a fire, or like you know, there's these tense scenes. So before it actually happens.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So yeah.
I don't know. I did read that before, but like it's pretty obvious like when you're first watching it that he's not the reincarnation when it starts, right? So like it is a lot of like, okay, like when is gonna happen?
When's this gonna happen?
And even like I didn't feel like the tension, because like I don't know, it's kind of like even like the scenes with like the fire earlier on are not like played for tension. They're just played for like oh like there's a fire, like this is just like, don't worry, this is just like some more of the sort of like expository, like, oh, like this is why this is going on. But yeah, it's super cool. Hey,
buddy. One other thing about just like the reveals of their faces every time, something that didn't fascinate me necessarily, but just was very interesting, is her makeup is basically the same in every scene in the first half, Shanti Priya. And so she has a very like, it's almost like her face is like a brand or like a symbol, because her like truly like exactly the same style of eyeliner, exactly the same shade of, and she looks like divine, like she's so beautiful. But I feel like you would expect in like a big like costume changes and like sets are changing and like we're going to different places, you'd expect different makeup. And so I don't know, that's just a and her makeup's not like crazy over the top
Right,
in that
right.
first half. It's very straight, like simple. So yeah, so it's that was interesting to
I
me.
thought that was just to keep her like recognizable, especially in the second half where like they have like the framed portraits of her and stuff, and like
Sure.
it's just like it's like the same photo that they use like anytime that they like sort of like mention her. It's like the same like headshot or
Sure.
whatever. I just thought it was to like drive home like, oh, like that is Shanti Priya and she is dead, by the way. And like
Yeah.
it's this asshole's fault, right? Like
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I just, again, it's like not even a change of lip color or anything. It was just.
Yeah, I guess that is
like
kind
I
of
said,
weird because they use the
kinda
black
strange.
and white photo of her too. It's like, so
Yeah.
like I guess
Yeah.
like the color wouldn't have really changed anything, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But she
yeah,
does look great.
It's
and so yeah.
Yeah. Coming back to the very, very beginning of the movie, did you notice that it starts with special thanks and a big hug to, and then a list of names?
Yeah.
Like not just special thanks, but also the big hug. I was like, oh, that's cute. Look at that.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's again like that's sort of like the candid nature of the film, I guess, right? Like even down to the thanks. I don't know which would call those, but like the
Yeah, acknowledgements.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, it's sincere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about the like the big climactic kind of like ghost scene toward the end?
I
like
loved
when he
it.
basically
That was
sings
great.
at him. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I like the way that they sort of set it up. I don't know. So like
Well, you mentioned like the having like
the,
making
like,
him
fake
think
out.
it's gonna happen
Yeah.
and then it really happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they're filming his face like several times, like going like up and down, and like it sort of adds to the,
Mhm.
like, oh, like he's confused, yada yada, and then they do the, oh, like ghosts don't bleed. I don't know if that's an homage to something else. I feel like it has to be because they do the same thing
Yeah, I don't
in the
know.
Road to El Dorado, right? It's like, oh, gods don't bleed. So I don't know if you're looking like this is a crazy pull. It's not a crazy pull.
It's a weird pull.
Well.
It's not crazy, but it's strange. I don't know that this movie is paying.
I
homage
don't
to-
think this movie is paying homage to that, but I think that they're both paying homage to something else, right? Like I feel like
Some
it's
other
some
third thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's some original film that came up with that.
Mhm.
And like both of them are like, oh, like
Mhm.
we're gonna take that and roll. And it's probably the ghost thing is like the more accurate one, if I'm being honest. But yeah,
Interesting.
it was funny to me. And then when we see like Ghost Shanti, she doesn't have the
Mhm.
like scar on her arm, or like the burn from the
No.
candle, which is like a nice touch. Like when I first saw her show up, I was like, oh shit, she doesn't have the
Yeah.
thing on her arm. I was like, interesting.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she starts doing
Yeah.
the like, you buried me. I was still alive. I was buried under this chandelier. And he's like, how the fuck do you know that? It's so cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The like the when the portrait lights up on fire, even though
Yeah.
the wires are like
Or, like,
broken
not
or
working.
whatever. That's when I was like, ooh, are we going? We got a little bit of.
Hmm.
We're both stroking our nascent chin hairs. Like, yeah, do we got something cooking here? Besides this portrait. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like I've seen that trope in other like kind of like light-hearted horror movies or like light-hearted ghost movies or like, like I want to say it's a Scooby-Doo kind of.
It does
thing
feel
to
kind
be
of
like,
Scooby-Doo-ish, yeah.
We're gonna pull a fast one, and then the ghost really shows up.
Yeah, but it's
So-
not in like a evil poltergeist kind of way. It's in like a
No, but in like a trickster
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
way. Yeah.
justice bringing Loki-esque type of way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I really dug this movie. I
Yeah.
really liked it a lot.
Yeah, I think it was super cool.
So,
just a good
Yeah.
watch overall.
Yeah, definitely incorporating the soundtrack into my rotation.
Definitely incorporating the
good shit on here.
soundtrack into my Zumba rotation.
Hell yeah! I bet you $100 that Cheyenne has at least one of these songs on one of her playlists.
And if not, if we showed her the movie, Dunzos. At least 4 of them are getting on there. Like,
yeah, hell yeah.
Every version of
Hell
Om Shanti Om just back to back. It's just the whole class is just Om Shanti Om.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, that'd be great.
That would be pretty cool.
Just this whole soundtrack. Yeah. Although the dance moves, I don't know. That might be tough.
Some inspiration could be drawn, right? Like,
I feel like we could look better doing the RRR Natu Natu dance than
doing any of these dances.
Like the threshold of I feel like the threshold of stupidity is like higher for the Nacho Nacho dance.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of those moves seem like tough. I mean, maybe it's just because like they're doing like a lot of like prop acting with the overalls.
That's not to say it's not harder.
No.
That's not to say it's not harder, but I feel like we'd look less stupid.
I think we'd look dumb either way, right? Not that that's a bad thing, but
sure. I was gonna say we're gonna always look dumb.
Yeah, right. So
shout out your local Zumba instructor.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Any Zumba instructor watchers, get at us. We want to hear from you. We want to know.
I miss Zumba. What a good time.
Me too, man. When I visited a few weeks ago, when we recorded in person, I was like, should I drive up to State College at like 6 a.m.
To Zumba in the morning? That'd be so crazy, actually.
That would be so funny. I should do it. We should do that one day. And then immediately record an episode after.
Man. Record it in the car right outside of Zumba.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie?
Not really. I mean, I liked it. It's cool. I think it's like a fun experience to watch. I don't know. The plot is like nothing crazy. We sort of mentioned on like the movie within a movie.
Nothing crazy. Pause. It's a fucking reincarnation story. Like, hello.
Yeah.
A guy dies in a fire and then
okay. Well, it's
nothing crazy, he says.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, sort of comparing it to, like, the ones that we've seen previously, or, like, pretty recently.
It's no mysterious skin.
Right. I don't know. I liked a lot.
They didn't hike this boat up a mountain.
True.
Sorry, okay,
I liked a lot the movie within the movie aspect of it, which I mentioned was sort of similar to Perfect Blue with, like, the doubting, and it's, like, the production within a production. But the way that it's just straight up, like, the exact same plot line being performed as is being like shown on screen is like very funny. So I don't know. Yeah. Cool film.
We'll have to watch. I referenced this movie back before, and then we ended up not watching it. But we'll have to watch Rob Nibana Di Jodi, which is the other movie with this actor that I've seen.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie. That movie's in the Lane canon for sure. It's very different.
Are you going to fire the Lane canon?
I mean, it's fire Lane canon. So no, it's more of a romance. So it kind of has more depth to it that way. Not so much action, but it's good. It's a really good movie, and I feel like it'll be more accessible to us. It does have homage, from what I remember, to other like Bollywood movies, but it's not so steeped in it and like movie culture that I think we just good movie, but there's so much we didn't get out of it from just like the cultural kind of barrier there.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe a different movie from like the same genre or other similar actors will be fun to watch in the future.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm down for it.
Hell yes. Cool. Well. Okay. Did we still want to go with our dual Rick's Pick Lane's frame for Christmas?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So I have two, and I wanted to ask you. I think both of these movies. So, okay, first, let me pull up the Rick's pick.
Okay.
While you were sleeping, not called Sleeping at Last,
Which was close.
is a band.
Wow, it is a band, and was also surprisingly close
Sleeping.
for my guesses. So
Wait, okay, so I don't think I knew this. So this movie, the first movie that we're watching, the Rick's pick, is While You Were Sleeping from 1995, directed by John Turteltaub. I didn't know that he directed some of the movies that he did. He directed the National Treasure movies. He directed The Meg.
The Meg?
The Big Shark movie, The Meg.
Oh,
with Jason Statham.
Oh, like Megalodon. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
He directed Cool Runnings.
No idea.
Which is crazy.
No idea.
It's about like the first Jamaican bobsledding team for the Olympics.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's like it's like a, I mean, not a dramedy, maybe I would say.
Okay.
But yeah, there's some interesting movies in here. And then yes, While You Were Sleeping. So you've seen this movie how many times?
Only like 3 or 4. Like, I think every Christmas that I've spent with the Onlofts. Maybe not every Christmas I've spent with the Onlofts, but most of them we do try to watch it. So I feel like we missed it last year. So
yeah, because you guys watched something else.
we watched a couple of things. We watched The Grinch.
You watched The Grinch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember being like, "Fuck you," and the little kid who suggested you watch The Grinch.
No, it was a fine movie. It was okay. Not as good as like the older Grinch,
movie.
which we did watch most of.
Yeah, forget
but
it.
then my little sister was like, "This is boring," and I was like, "This is cinema."
That movie's also like 18 minutes long. Like, if you're losing your attention span, you need to bolt that child down Clockwork Orange style and be like, watch this movie.
So I actually have been telling my parents, like, hey, you have to like let her be bored sometimes, because otherwise she's like never gonna develop an attention span. And they're like, yeah, but she's like annoying when she's bored. And I'm like, all right, well, fine, then whatever. Just like let her watch Mr. Beast videos all day.
Yeah.
Cool, fine, like fucking great.
I'm sure she will be less annoying if she's just constantly stimulated. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm excited to watch this. I have not seen it, but I know a lot of people really like it, and we haven't really watched a lot of like. I don't think we've seen a rom-com yet for this podcast. Is that? I mean, Devil Wears Prada is like the closest it gets, but that's just more of like I'm using air quotes here, like a chick flick.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like Hitch,
so
the best rom-com of 2018 or 2008, whenever it came out, starring Will Smith. Let's see if I got that one right. Let's look it up right now.
I'm googling. 2005.
Fuck!
That's Will Smith. I knew that.
I was close. I was 3 years. Not bad.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a movie I have not seen.
That was a movie I liked when I was a kid, but like probably wouldn't like too much now.
I bet.
It was kind of funny though. It was a funny movie. I liked Will Smith a lot growing up. He was a good actor. He was like one of the only actors who I would like actively watch like any movie he was in. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, Will Smith, hell yeah.
He's a good screen presence.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Anyway, what are your 2 movies?
Okay, so I think both of them are movies that we have not seen. Neither of us. Mm-hmm. I want to know: do you want to watch as the companion to While You Were Sleeping for a dual Christmas episode? Do you want to watch something that's like a classic old Christmas movie, or something fun and modern that I think we could both have a good time with?
Let's do fun and modern. Well, how old is old, I guess?
Old. Like,
let's do fun
40s.
and modern.
Okay. So, let me
what was the old one, though?
I was thinking we could have watched The Miracle on 34th Street, which I think is just about Santa coming to save Christmas. I don't know. Some shit from the 40s.
Right. I mean, classic, yeah.
One day. Instead, we're going to watch The Christmas Chronicles from 2018, directed by Clay Cadis. This is on Netflix. I'm not going to say anything else. You are going to have fun when you turn it on. I have not seen this movie. I think this will be an easy breezy watch. I think it's like a cool 95 minutes or something.
Cool.
So yeah. Sweet.
Sweet.
So next week, while you were sleeping, the Christmas Chronicles, the Duality of Man. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, we'll have another episode before the New Year, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But this next one will come out after Christmas. So,
Sweet.
yeah. Do you want to sing one of these songs? Should we end with Dart a Disco? Or,
Probably, yeah.
yeah? Is that the one? Not Macklemore?
Not Macklemore. No, God, no.
No, we can
As good as
take that
the-
dog out back.
Yeah, yeah. As good as a strong word. As mediocre as that bit is, I think we caught it. Yeah.
Don't call my bits mediocre. What the fish, man?
What the fish, bro? I think we need Mackle less.
No.